last semester I spent $1,200, and this semester I'm up to $600.
Each semester I probably spend about $500 on books.
I'm a science student, and right now I can't afford to buy textbooks from the bookstore. That's how ridiculous it is.
Recently, however, I have found as we are placing our new orders for textbooks, our cost on those books has been going up very frequently, an additional $5 every semester on textbooks.
But that's also depending on what classes I'm taking. Some are more, textbook heavy than others. So it really differs. Obviously, it's like a $600 difference from one semester to the other.
My first semester here, I bought all my textbooks from here. I was taking 14 credits, biology class, chemistry class, and calculus. My books totaled around $750 plus tax. So now I just buy my books online, used, whatever, and I spend typically about $300 to $500 a semester.
As far as professors go and textbooks, I've had some professors that are really good about that will say, you can use a 2005 edition, you can use a 2006 edition, it doesn't matter, whatever you find.
The way I decide if the book is going to be useful is I'll go to a conference, and at the conference there's a table that maybe Focal Press is there or some of the other film, video publishing houses, and so they'll have books out on display, and so I'll see all the books that are there, and I peruse through them, and that one might be of interest, and so I'll ask for an examination copy. They send me a copy.
Most of the time it has to do with which book has the most amount of stuff that I want to use for the least amount of money. Typically the books in my classes will run between $75 and $100, maybe sometimes a little below, sometimes a little above, just depending.
The one thing that annoys my biology, chemistry, physics professors is basic physics that we're learning now hasn't changed in 100, 200 years. The textbook companies feel the need to change their books every 3 or 4 years.
So it's not even a good book, and yet I'm paying $150 for this huge textbook.
Because there is also a miscommunication between the teachers and the bookstore. So you go to the bookstore thinking, I'll just get all the books in advance, but then they have, the wrong information as to what books you need for that class. So you buy 5 books for the class, and then you go to the class and you only need 1 book, and it just so happens that none of the 5s qualify for, none of them. You didn't need any of the 5s. So now I have to wait till I start class and get the books. And most of my books, I get them on Amazon.
Never have I found a significant change in a textbook that was worthy of buying a new book. In fact, I will always tell a student, I don't care what version of the textbook you buy, and if there is a difference between one and the other, I'll certainly make a copy for you of that additional material, but I don't think a student should have to buy another book simply because someone made a new edition and they corrected all their errors, whatever it was that they changed.
Sometimes, yes, particularly in terms of the books that I use in a 2nd or 3rd edition. A lot of times it will have a lot more material in it in the new edition than it did in the previous one. On occasion, things get corrected. Again, I teach literature most of the time, and in literature, a lot of people might think, well, Huckleberry Finn is Huckleberry Finn, but what people don't realize is that in the process of publishing even one edition of Huckleberry Finn, a typesetter or an editor can make lots of mistakes, and a scholar has to go back and spend a lot of time to correct those mistakes, and so sometimes a new edition will have actually a better version, a more accurate version of a particular text. And this is really true with a lot of things, more things than you might imagine.
The number one source for used books are students. Then the books that we don't receive from students at buyback, we go to our national wholesalers. And so there are several national wholesalers across the country that they specialize in used textbook market.
So we usually can't say this is the price it's going to be, because we don't know ourselves until we are invoiced, or until if we are calling in an order, they will tell us how much they are charging for that book. And our prices are very specifically based on the cost that they quote to us.
The retail price would be around $800 to $1,000 a semester for full time.
And even those 3 books that I buy, which have a total cost of right at $100, don't have all the stuff either. They have most of the stuff, but they don't have all of it. But they're still cheaper than putting together my own packet most of the time.
The first place I try to sell my books back to is Amazon or on eBay, because usually it's a decent price, but sometimes they're not listed.